Hey guys.
Alright folks, we're here today to check out the latest from Septicflesh, Amphibians. Now for those of you that are uneducated, Amphibians is an animal or a thing, or because it could be a car, that travels through water and earth. Like they're
Like maybe 50% right, or maybe
like a fish is not an amphibian, right? But like a frog is, because they can live on water and they live on land. That's what an amphibian is.
Okay.
I mean, I'm dumbing it down, not because I don't know the right words. I'm just dumbing it down for those watching who are not well versed in the English language.
Said like an amphibian. Just think of a frog and like.
I think a frog is a perfect example.
Is it though? Like,
yeah.
Are frogs Yeah.
I'm going with it. Also, those army trucks that they roll out through the water and then they come out on land. Those are amphibian trucks. Because they can be a boat when they're on the water, and they can be a truck when they're on land.
Okay.
You never heard about that?
No.
Wow.
Well, I play a lot of GTA.
You need to get some Call of Duty.
No, I play a lot of GTA. And GTA, there's a car that does that.
Okay.
When you go on land, it's a car, but then when you drive into the sea,
it becomes a boat.
The wheels go inside of it. It becomes like a speedboat.
Yeah. So that's an amphibian vehicle. There you go. Dropping knowledge, but to the simpletons.
As simpletons.
Well, I need to speak the language of the people. I'm from the people for the people.
How do you think Trump got elected?
Okay, let's not get into that.
Simpleton voting for simpleton?
Let's not get into that. We just lost half of our viewership with that comment.
The Americans left, man.
The Americans left the chat. So, and anyhow, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. The DNA. All right.
They had like frog feet. Did you notice that?
I said before,
Yeah.
like I called it, but anyways, Atlanteans. Anyhow, man, I like the topic of this song. The lyrical content is really cool too because kind of plays on this. I'm not gonna call it conspiracy theory, but like just this idea.
Not a conspiracy theory.
No, because there's no conspiracy. Like it's just a theory.
It's just a theory.
There's no conspiracy behind it. It's just a theory. And I've come to take it for what it's worth. Not much.
I've come to believe that.
I've come to believe that I don't think humanity has been measured in the right time frame. I think humans of some sort have been on this planet for far longer than what we think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I believe that there's been massive cataclysm. We know there's been 5 massive cataclysmic events that shape what the planet is today, from a biological standpoint and from
5.
Yeah, there's been 5 massive.
I only know like the like.
You only know about the dinosaurs. Yeah, that's the most famous one.
That's the yeah.
There's been 5. That's
Pompeii
one of
is
them.
not one of them, right?
That's one of them. What?
Pompeii is
No,
one.
Pompeii doesn't qualify. Anyways, there's been 5 of them. If you watched some David Attenborough documentaries or some of those documentaries on Netflix narrated by God himself, Morgan Freeman, you would know a lot more. You would be a more educated person.
What are the other ones? What are the other ones?
I don't remember the timelines,
Okay.
but the dinosaurs is definitely not the last one that happened. There was one after. I believe there was one after the dinosaurs and 3 before, if I'm not mistaken.
Does the Big Bang count?
No, because that was the creation of the universe.
It was the creation, yeah.
So that doesn't count. I'm talking about
technically
massive. We're talking about massive cataclysms on planet Earth that caused nearly full extinction of life. Not fully, because obviously it continued, but to a certain degree.
So,
anyways,
okay,
there's been 5.
I was gonna keep guessing. I was gonna be like the Ice Age, which I think.
Yeah. The Ice Age.
Technically
Yeah. The Ice Age was one of them. Anyways, so there's 5. Let's just go with that. You can Google on your own time and figure out all of them. But anyways, there's been 5.
Do your own research.
Do your own research. So anyhow, the point being is that I believe that mankind, to a certain degree, has been around longer than what we think. It's just that with certain cataclysms, we had to do resets. And if you think about this,
I also think certain time periods are being shifted around. Like I think certain.
Can I finish my theory?
Yeah, sure.
Before yours, because yours sounds a little crazy. Anyways, so and if you give it some thought, give this some thought. Okay, so we are where we are right now in terms of our evolution curve, right? Like we're an advanced civilization, blah 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 blah. Imagine there's a massive extinction event, right? Like a meteorite hits Earth, and 98 of the human population dies. 98%, right? 2% survive, which is enough to continue. The species wouldn't be extinct. That would be enough to continue, right? But just imagine this. Imagine the pocket that survives, that 2% is going to be scattered all over the earth. Most likely the ones that are going to survive are going to be tribes that already live in a very primordial manner, because they're not as dependent on technology as we are. If you're a tribe in the Amazon, and the Amazon is not hit by this cataclysm, for you, everything kind of goes about the same. Like, there's no really difference there, right? So your ability to survive if you live in a primordial state is much higher than if you live in a evolved state, right? So so those that would survive most likely would be in that category. So they would be the ones now taking civilization forward. We would kind of be starting from zero. It would be year 0. Now, if you say, okay, what about if like a population in freaking Alaska survives? All right, how many of those are mechanics? How many of those are doctors? How many of those are scholars? How many of those are scientists? You see what I'm saying? If you eliminate 98% of all doctors on the planet, or if you eliminate 98% of all accountants, if you eliminate 98% of anything, it's going to be very hard for that knowledge to continue, because it's just not going to be enough knowledge-based people to pass it around, especially if the only doctor in existence lives in North America, and that population is only like 0.01% of the 2%. You see what I'm saying? So you really become year 0. You have to start from scratch, because all your literature is gone. And let's face the facts, even if you have the literature, reading a book doesn't make me a surgeon. Like, I can read the book. That doesn't mean I can do a surgery right after. So even if you had the literature, that doesn't mean you're gonna catch up to where you were before. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to build a computer or how to make a microchip. Like, there's certain things that if there's that kind of extinction, you're really starting at year zero. You know what I mean? So then you're starting evolution kind of all over again. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you start to really analyze it from that point of view, it makes, in my opinion, it makes total sense. Because if you look back, things that we keep discovering that we don't know how the fuck they were done, it was not aliens. Like, we just had more knowledge about things, that maybe even more knowledge than what we have now. We think that we are at the peak of our evolution. I don't think we're at the peak of our evolution. I think we already had other peaks. It's just then we had really deep valleys, and now we getting started again. You know what I mean? And just because maybe they didn't have computers doesn't mean they were not evolved. Maybe they did other things. You know, there's that saying. I don't know if it's. I don't know how truthful it is, that humans only use a very small percentage of their brain. Yeah. That if you actually were able to use 100% of your brain power, like you could move objects with your mind and you could do this and that. Imagine if those earlier ones had that ability to develop that side of them. They wouldn't need a computer because their brain would have been so advanced they could do so many more things without the need of a computer or a car or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Guess what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. That's at least that's my theory.
Yeah.
As good as any other.
Yeah, true. My theory is a little bit funnier, and maybe not funnier, but more of like I always feel like people always when it comes to like human history in general, people always place certain events in front of others that I don't really think make sense being in front of others.
Okay, give me an example.
Okay, now you put me on the spot. It's hard. I'm just saying like basically, I not that. It's not that like I think that that's how it is. I just think that some people when they're speaking about certain events, like when they use AD, like after death or BC and stuff like that.
It's not. It doesn't mean after death, but okay.
It doesn't mean after death.
No.
The Catholic schools really fucked me, huh? I swear to God, that's what they would tell me is after death.
Next thing you know, you're going to tell me that it's AC/DC for alternative current and what's the D for? Divergent current or something like that?
I don't fucking know.
But I know it's current.
Anyways, I always feel like, especially like speaking with some people, they're when they say those like certain events, like, oh, this happened in BC, and it seems like such a far away time period. It doesn't. The stuff that they had at the same time, it doesn't seem that far away. Like I always feel like we emphasize how far away certain periods were without realizing that they weren't that far off.
Maybe they were even further than what you think.
Or maybe they're even further than what I think. Who knows? Who really knows in the end? I just if you can't, I think from the past couple hundred years you can really easily say yes, this is what we've been going.
Even more than 100.
Maybe more than 100. But I'm saying when we go back to like the hundreds and like 55 AD and all this shit, I think when it goes back to those, it gets really jumbled up between each other that you don't really like. How close was that to that? How really close was that to... It seems far away, but was it far away or was it far away or was it close? Like, you never really know when you go that far back. I think if you go back to like, I don't know, 1100 or whatever, I think there's enough information that is still out there that kind of ties in.
Because it was documented.
Because it's documented. When you go back to times that weren't really documented, you're like, okay...
Yeah, because then you're trusting the word of like... a scribe that heard a story. And,
exactly.
And by the way, we're going to get to the song. I just want to say one more thing. And I also believe that there's a lot of folklore, right? Like we have dragons, like unicorns, all of these kind of things, right? But if you think about it, like dragons are depicted by different civilizations in different time periods that had no connection with one another. Do you see what I'm saying? So it makes me believe that maybe dragons or something like that actually did exist. We just... haven't found any fossils of any dragons or whatever. Just because we haven't found something doesn't mean it doesn't exist or it didn't exist or whatever.
We have like bearded dragons and like Komodo dragons and shit like that. So who knows? Maybe back in those days, those animals were a lot more like bigger. Like, you know how there was like really big crocodiles
Dude,
in
we're
like
still
the ancient
discovering
times.
we're discovering new dinosaurs almost like
That's what I'm saying.
all the time, like dinosaurs that were
it easily,
not known.
Maybe
So
maybe they didn't have wings and fly, but maybe there were big ass fucking lizards that they called them like
yeah,
who knows? And also maybe they didn't. I don't think fire came out of them, but probably very poisonous. So
yeah, maybe they had bad breath. Okay, anyways.
I mean, everyone in those days probably had bad breath.
Yeah, that is true. Scurvy hit them all. But anyhow,
come on.
let's talk a little bit about this song. We went a little
Scurvy, fuck.
we went a little bit off topic here. Well, not off topic
I
because
don't
the
think we
song
went
kind
off
of
topic. I think
the song took us on this journey.
But
lyrically.
also, before we continue, I want to hear what everyone else is. I want to hear some theories in the comments.
About what? About
just theories in general. Like what do you?
fuck?
Think?
I don't want to hear anything about JFK getting shot in the grassy knolls. Like none of that shit. Give me something good. Give me something good.
What, like Elon Musk is?
No, like the Nazis live on the moon. Like, give me something good.
Okay.
Give me some good shit.
The moon is made out of cheese.
Fuck, I've never heard that one.
You've never heard that one?
No, never
that
heard
one
that
is old as bleached assholes in Roma. Like Roma. I mean
Roma. Fuck. Poor Tati had a bleached asshole. And anyways, what do you think about this song?
It's good as fuck. I guess this song, when it comes to Septicflesh, my favorite song has always been Portrait of a Headless Man, because I love just the absolute just orchestral masterpiece that song is. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this song,
and very cinematic because of that.
But I also feel like this song has a lot of what that song has. It's very cinematic. It has all these pieces with
almost like a movie score, like documentary movie score.
So I can relate that to that song, and the vocals and everything.
This one just has more pauses. It's more
it has more pauses, but it has a lot less of the harsher vocals compared to that song too. But really, really good song. I love just like how big the song feels, and not only in a like the video portraying that with the camera backups and stuff like that, just orchestral wise and sound wise, it feels big. It feels like a big song. Just really, really good track. Really good track. I like the cleaner vocals. I like that. I like that with the.
I think for this song fits well. Dude.
It fits well, and I like how it's implemented with some of those like deep horns from the orchestra. I like that. I because those deep horns kind of give just kind of like a like kind of a pulling down feeling.
I know, but for this topic of song and the way they address the song from a video standpoint, that almost brings like an Egyptian vibe to the forefront.
No, you know what? It gives just ancient in general.
Yeah, like ancient worlds, ancient times.
Worlds.
I brought Egypt because when I think of ancient worlds, I mean, they're the GOAT. So you gotta go with them. So anyhow, I got the same vibes.
Yeah. I mean, really, I had to bring up that song because I do feel really that song, a lot of elements, excuse me.
But that track was built more as a track with movie score touches. This one feels a lot more
movie score.
Yeah, because it's a story. Like you're narrating a story. Like you're portraying a story. So it moves differently. The song is still big, still heavy, still powerful, but it's more paused. It has more breaks. It's more thematical in the way that it moves. Mm-hmm. That track moves at a completely different pace. It's a completely different. There are elements in common, but I feel like the elements that are in common between those two songs, they're pretty much in common with any Septicflesh song. Mm-hmm. They always create tracks that have this over cinematic ancient world vibe to it.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's probably a lot better than ancient world is a perfect example, like word description for that specific orchestral sound that they bring to the track.
If you watch a movie like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, that kind of sound exists in that soundtrack. Not to this extent, but it exists there because it gives an aroma of an ancient world, of a lost world. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So they do that really well with their music. Not just this song, not just that song. Every song, these guys do that. They bring those vibes extremely well into the forefront as far as their music is concerned, and this track is no different. It's just the way that it paces itself. It's not a track that's easily digestible. Like, it's not easy to get into because it doesn't have that faster riff it doesn't have this appeal that you can hold on to it and go for a ride. No, like, it's not about going for a ride. It's really more about digesting the lyrical content and then looking at the music as the soundtrack to that lyrical content that you're digesting. And the way the vocals present that lyrical content, they present it in a very clear way. You know, you don't have to decipher. So going with the cleaner style vocals helps that as well. Because if it's a harsher vocal delivery, at first glance, you're going to be like, what's going on? Like, you have to go read the lyrics. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it simplifies it a lot because of the clean vocals. Anyways, I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but these guys are going to be touring in North America. I'm going to be seeing them at the Toronto stop. Very excited about it. Looking forward to it. Guys, check out their social media to find out all the dates. So go check them out.
If AD doesn't mean after death, what does BC mean?
I honestly don't know what either one of them means. Okay. I always thought it was before and after Christ. Like the birth of Christ is what defines
that's
what
I
happened
thought,
before and what happens after. That's what I thought,
well,
but I honestly don't know.
What I was sadly taught in Catholic school was BC is before Christ and AD is after death. So, like, after his death.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I always thought Christ was the defining barometer for what happened before and what happened after. At least that's my knowledge.
Which is funny, because if you don't believe...
We'll Google it after.
If you don't believe in that stuff, then, like... It's weird.
I guess it is.
It's weird to say, weird. Like, if that's how we... as humans are defining it.
Well, not we as humans, but Western society.
Well, yes, Western society. Yeah.
If you ask people in China, they probably don't define it that way.
No, they probably still.
They probably define it before Mao and after Mao. I don't know. Just assuming.
BM AM.
BM also was for bowel movement, so I don't know. It's what happens before the bowel movement and what happens after the bowel movement. All right. On that note, guys, we'll see you all at the next one.
See ya.